First of all, it is a sham that we sit here and y'all pretend as if you care about what the people have to say, but we are going to make y'all listen as long as you will. This map does nothing but divide, distract, and depress. There is this idea that was put out there during his opening remarks that this does so much for black folk. Well, let me tell you, as a black person, it does not. Let me tell.
All right. So that's Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. And man, she's sassy. Just that flip neck, I got it type energy. And I can't even focus on what she's saying half the time because body language is loud as words, sassy, combative. And this is a story about a political power play in Texas where the map is being redrawn to push her own house outside the district she represents. But the real story here isn't just about the map, it's about the performance. It reveals the truth about our political system that's hard to watch when politicians can't win you over with substance. They put on a show. And honestly, it's an ugly spirit to me. Welcome to the show. Because this is a story about gerrymandering, drawing voting maps to help one party. And what's happening in Texas is definitely an example of that. The state's GOP created a new redistricting plan, and the goal is obvious: locking their own power. The new map carves up communities, and one of their main target is Representative Jasmine Crockett. The map will move her home just outside of Texas' 30th congressional district, the community she was elected to serve. But here's the thing. The thing is, she's not approachable. Like, who would really want to be around this woman on a daily basis based on her vibe? I don't think nobody would want to be around this woman no longer than 10 seconds. I don't care how pretty you are, but bad attitude makes you not likable. Attitude, character makes the beauty of a person. And if it's combative, defensive, closed minded, it's ugly. And I don't rock with ghetto energy. So the hood vibes and the hood junk and all of that is just not likable. It's not approachable. It's not attractive. And it's impossible to separate Jasmine Crockett, the politician, looks from her personality once you heard her speak, the way she speaks, just like as you heard her in the clip. Well, the segment of this video and the little clip that I shared with you. So Jasmine Crockett's response wasn't a quiet disagreement. It was a whole performance. In open testimony, she let everyone know just how she felt about the plan. And she says, I don't currently reside in my district based upon the plan that has been drawn, which is another red flag, she said. After lawmakers first asked her for her address only to draw the line right outside her house. She called the whole thing a hot mess and an attack on minority communities. And Crockett argues the map is designed to weaken the power of black and brown voters by either packing them into one district or cracking them apart. And she accused the GOP of playing a game where they move minorities around so that you can somehow claim that this is nothing but partisanship. Then she took the act to social media. In a passionate Instagram video, she praised her former colleagues and the Texas legislator who fled the state to block the vote, shouting them out with a triumph, deuces, we out. She called them democracy defenders that believe in absolutely standing up for the people and they understand the assignment. By calling former President Donald Trump a ridiculous tyrant, she made it clear this wasn't just a political disagreement, it was a full blown drama, okay? Now, before we get to this next clip, I want to break it down. So why would the Texas GOP make a move so bold? The answer is the oldest one in politics: power. They aren't even trying to hide it. This is a special mid-decade redistricting, a strategic move to try and secure Republican control over the U.S. House, and the new map is designed to give GOP several extra congressional seats by carving up Democratic-leaning areas. And you don't have to guess their motive. Texas State Representative Todd Hunter admitted it publicly. We have 5 new districts, and these 5 new districts are based on political performance. That is a district admission that the maps are being engineered for a political win, not to fairly represent the people of Texas. This whole effort is also influenced by President Trump, who publicly said that Republicans are entitled to 5 more seats in Texas, and this is just a political game as it's played. It's a raw power grab, and it sets the stage for the hypocrisy that follows. So, with the GOP pushing through this map, Texas Democrats decided to take a drastic step. They fled the state. Over 50 of them got on planes and left Texas, which meant the state house didn't have enough members present to hold a vote. It was a theoretical move designed to stop the process and get national attention. And the Republican response was just as extreme, with Governor Greg Abbott threatening to have the lawmakers arrested. And of course, Jasmine Crockett was cheering them on, and she called the fleeing Democrats heroes. But here's where it all falls apart. This is exactly the kind of political hypocrisy I can't stand. While she's fighting against redistricting her own state, she says she's encouraged the exact she says she's encouraged the exact same thing in blue states. So in an interview, when asked if she'll encourage states like New York and California to redraw their maps to favor Democrats, she said, I absolutely do. She said that sometimes you got to get down on the level that they're on. It's one set of rules for them and another for everybody else. But it all comes down to the money, because what she's worried about is funding. Well, before I continue, let's watch her on ABC.
Joining us now for more is Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Governor Abbott just announced that he has ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to find and arrest the House Democrats who have fled the state. You're in the Chicago area with some of those Democratic representatives. What's the plan with them? Obviously, at some point, you have to return to the state of Texas eventually. So ultimately, does it seem that it's a foregone conclusion that this bill will pass?
I don't say ultimately. I never say ultimately, because I don't have a give up attitude whatsoever. But right now, the governor has decided that he wants to waste more of Texans' resources by deciding that he's going to send out the troopers. And listen, I don't even think that he's going to do that. I think he's just talking. Earlier today, I posted a copy of the warrant that was signed by the speaker, because it's the speaker of the House that can put the call on the House, not the governor. And no one came to get me last time. In fact, it is a cute little warrant that has a cute little frame on it. And so they like to talk a big game, but the reality is that, number one, you have a lot of intelligent attorneys that actually serve in the Texas House. And so they know that there's nothing that he can do outside of the Texas jurisdiction to bring them in. This is one of the reasons they are in another state. His authority does not extend throughout the entirety of the United States. So he's just talking the big talk so that, he can rile up his base. Ultimately, what will happen, we don't know. I know that we've been in litigation since 2021 over the current maps. I am one of the plaintiffs in that case, and I do know that the state the entire time has taken the position that they issued maps that were race neutral. And then all of a sudden, once they got a letter from the DOJ that talked about race, they somehow flipped the script and they decided that they wanted to do new maps, seemingly at their prompting. So now they're kind of dancing around their position, and now it seems like they're going to flip positions.
You've said that the new maps do nothing but divide, distract, and depress. What's your understanding of how your district will change if these maps do pass?
Yeah, so my district, what they did is they did a thing that they packed my district up and then they cracked minorities from another community. And so what they've did is they've increased the number of African Americans in my district. But while they were cracking out persons from another community and packing them into my community, they also removed all the economic engines, which is yet another red flag. This means that I don't have Southwest Airlines or JSX Airlines or Dallas Love Airport or Downtown or AT&T or Goldman Sachs, and the list goes on of amazing companies and corporations that I'm typically bringing in to make sure that we can talk about economic opportunities for the people that live in my district, including getting rid of the medical center in my district as well.
In response to this plan, we've seen Democrats in states like New York and California say that they would look into redistricting as well. Would you encourage them to do that?
I absolutely do. We are in a fight
She's
for
a
the soul
hypocrite. You
of this.
see, she absolutely does. So when you look at her, when you listen to her response just now, right? And she says she absolutely does, because this is what I called out, what I said before I played this clip. The thing is, this is the thing. It's so what mind blowing. What's mind blowing to me is she wants other districts to do it, and when you really hear what she's saying, it's substance over surface, because she encourages redistricting in blue states, fighting against it in her own, and it's the hypocrisy that's just ignorant, because politicians do it all the time. One set of rules for them and another for everybody else, right? So I believe that she's just worrying about power and money, and she's trying to follow this script to keep power.
Country. Morality seems to be out the window, and legality seems to be out the window. But hopefully, we can bring some of that back. And it is going to take a real fight. And sometimes you got to get down on the level that they're on. These people are they're grimy. It is time for us to show other Democrats and even independents, or honestly Americans, that we are up for this fight, that we are not weak, that we will not allow a bully to punch us in our face and then say thank you and I'm sorry, but instead we are not only going to punch you back, but we are going to knock you out. So I fully anticipate that we are going to take control of the United States House, because that is what the American people want. And that is why Donald Trump and his regime is so afraid, because they know that they have not done anything to better anybody's lives, no matter how you affiliate yourself and no matter where you live in this country. He has done something to hurt all of us. And it is time for our voices to be heard, because that is what a democracy looks like.
Texas Democratic.
All right, so yes, both parties gerrymander when they have a chance. Democrats do it in places like Illinois and Maryland. Republicans do it in Texas, Florida, etc. But the difference here is that Texas is doing it mid-decade, before the next census, which is unusual, and it makes it obvious that it's a pure power grab, not part of the normal 10-year redistricting cycle. I don't believe that it should be 10 years, because the thing is, people die off, right? So if you're looking at the votes, are they really going to be proportionate based on that district, wherein it's not the same numbers in 10 years you would expect, and the numbers aren't accurate enough or up to par? As I think they should do like every 5 years. Let me know you guys think in the comments below. But the Republicans already dominate Texas politics, and this isn't about survival. It's about locking in even more seats. So it's almost impossible for Democrats to win big there, no matter how people vote. And if you strip the parties away, the most fair system will be one where districts are drawn by an independent, non-political commission. So voters pick their politicians, not the other way around. But right now, Texas politics isn't playing that game. However, the power uses it to keep it, and the GOP has the upper hand in Texas, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. And look, Republicans already run the state. They got the governor, the legislator, both U.S. senators, and a majority of congressional seats. And it's not even close. But now they want more. We're drawing the maps in the middle of the decade. So they could snatch five more seats. That will lean Republican. So, and that's just all it is. Because the truth is, Democrats do it, Republicans do it. And it all is a battle. And what we're seeing is more than a political fight in Texas. It's a perfect example of why so many of us can't take politics seriously anymore. Because a congresswoman is being drawn out of her district, but her abrasive behavior, attitude, and blatantly hypocrisy are the real headlines. We are watching lawmakers flee a state to block a vote only to have their champions admit they'll pull the same stunt elsewhere. So where does this end? We've crossed the line when a politician's brand is built on fighting a practice that she would happily inflict on others. And that's not a fight for democracy, it's a fight for power, plain and simple. And the battle lines are drawn. So the defining struggle isn't between parties, it's between politicians who play these games and the people who are sick of watching the show. And if you believe it's time to call out performance and demand some substance, make sure you subscribe and have notifications on. Share this video to shine a light on the hypocrisy. And a battle that is important, staying silent is not an option. And to be honest, I believe that the census should be be earlier than 10 years, because not only do people die off, but other people move when it comes to districts, right? And the numbers cannot be properly proportionate to the votes if you really look at it. So then if you really think of that, could they still vote even though the individuals who are no longer in that district, because the census are 10 plus years away when it comes to redistricting? Because I believe redistricting should be more effectively done in a not so long of a time. A decade is a long time. But let me know what you guys think. Peace.